Let me ask you something. When was the last time that you actually felt pretty present in your mind? You know, and not even just in your mind, but just not scrolling, not replaying an old conversation that maybe happened a little bit ago, not planning a future that you're not even sure that you genuinely want for yourself. Just kind of here, just in the moment. Because if you're anything like me or most of the people watching this video, you spend way more time living in your head than you do in real life. And nobody really talks about the cost of that. Not money, not time. I'm talking about the life that you're quietly losing while you're just stuck there thinking. So, what does it really mean to just live in your head? Living in your head looks productive on the outside, right? You're thinking things through, you're being realistic, you're waiting until you're ready for things. But on the inside, you're replaying the same fears, the same what ifs, the same versions of yourself that almost started doing what you wanted to do. You tend to overanalyze conversations that already ended. Oh, I should have said this, I should have said that, right? You judge yourself for mistakes that nobody else even remembers or even cares about. And slowly, without realizing it, your thoughts become your home. So, I'm going to really talk to you about the real cost of this. Living in your head costs you, number one, momentum. You don't fail these things, right? But you just stall. You stall yourself. You don't lose, but you wait. And while you're waiting, you're kind of losing a little bit. You're losing time. You don't get rejected, you just never ask. You never put one foot in front of the other. Your life doesn't fall apart, but it just never fully starts. Number two, confidence. And it's really important. Every time you think instead of act, you teach yourself a lesson. I don't trust me. Let's say there's a girl, you're at the bar or whatever, you're out and about, there's a girl you want to talk to, but you instantly in your head, you kind of make it up that she probably doesn't even really want me. She probably doesn't even really want to talk to me. She probably has a boyfriend. And you're in your head so much that you stop yourself from making the action. You don't even know what could happen. That could be your wife right there. It could be your future. Or it could just be another person that already does have a boyfriend, but you'll never know because you don't have the confidence to go up and talk to her. And over time, that voice, it gets louder and it gets louder. And not because it's right, but because it's never challenged, you know? She might have a boyfriend, you say in your head. You know what? Let me challenge that. Let me go see. Let me ask. Because you literally don't know. You have no clue. Number three, connection. You want to be close to people, right? But you're always slightly somewhere else in your mind or wherever, thinking about what you should say, wondering how you're coming across to them, replaying the moment instead of being in the moment. So even when you're surrounded by a group of friends, a group of family, you feel alone. And it's normal, but you don't want these things to affect your connection to people because the people closest to you will affect you the most. And you always want to be present in that moment and be able to give yourself 110%. Number four, joy. I said it so like a little melatonin. Joy. Uh, melatonin. Not sadness, not pain, something worse. Neutral. Days seem to kind of blur together for you. Nothing feels terrible, but nothing kind of feels like alive at a point. That emptiness, it that you feel, it's not depression, but it's just the life that you haven't used yet. You're kind of just sitting in neutral like your car. You're just kind of rolling, kind of going with the hill. As soon as you turn into drive though, you can go. You know what I mean? You can go. You can really go. You don't want it to be in reverse, obviously, unless you need to back up a little bit, backtrack. But you want to be in drive because you can always stop when you're in drive. You can always go. You can always change your speed, but you don't want to be in neutral. You don't want to let the things around you kind of carry you, if that makes sense. You want to always be the dictator of what is happening. So let's be honest. You don't live in your head because you like it, right? You live there because it feels safe to you. I think we all do at some point. It just feels safer to, maybe be quiet sometimes, to maybe not give all of ourselves. It makes us feel better. So if you think long enough, you don't have to risk. If you plan enough, you don't have to fail. If you understand everything, nothing can surprise you. But think about it, safety has a price, you know, in a lot of circumstances. Your mind becomes a sort of waiting room that you can never leave because leaving means exposure, exposure to all these things that could happen. Maybe you getting turned down by the girl, or, maybe somebody not accepting you for who you are in certain circumstances. And exposure means you might not be perfect, but guess what? None of us are. Not me making this video, not you. But guess what? That's okay. Because we got to go through trials and tribulations, regardless of the fact, to find out who you really are. And it's not going to be a perfect person, but you can get damn near clear, like damn near close, as close as you can. So let me talk more about one of the harder truths in this whole thing. And it kind of changed everything for me. Clarity doesn't come before action, right? But it comes from the action of doing it, of going through it. You will never think your way into confidence. You will never analyze your way into purpose. You will never wait your way into readiness. You know, life rewards motion, not certainty. It's gonna be scary. It's gonna be terrifying at times. And the people you admire, they weren't braver than you. They just stopped negotiating with their thoughts at times and they just went for it. They went for the action. You got to bet on yourself. You have to bet on yourself more than you're going to bet on anyone else. So, how do you leave your head? How do you get out of your head? I'm not going to tell you to just stop thinking because that's just impossible. That's impossible. You can never just stop thinking. Instead, I want you to do this. Number one, I want you to act before you feel ready. Readiness is more so a feeling, an action is more of a decision, that you're just pushing all your chips, you're betting it all, you're putting it all up. You want to move first and let your emotions catch up. And obviously you have to think in certain situations, but a lot of the time you really just need to push your chips out and go for it. Shrink the moment. Number two, stop asking, what does this mean for my future? And ask, what's the next small move for me? Because your small actions silence the loud thoughts in your head that that the the doubt and all that. It silences that. Number three, I want you to accept imperfect presence. And what do I mean by that? You don't need to be confident to show up, right? You don't need clarity to start. You don't need permission from anyone to live. You just need to be here. You know where you're at watching this video. You need to be here in the moment, present, and everything will fall in line with you. I promise. So if you're watching this and you feel stuck, you know, just kind of pause there. Like you're waiting for something. You know, I need you to hear this. You're not behind, you're not lost, and you're not running out of time. You're just spending too much of your life on the inside instead of on the outside. In the moment you step out of your head, even just a little bit, life will meet you halfway. But let this sit with you. Um and today, do one thing that pulls you out of your head and just into your life. You know, don't overthink it. Don't make a perfect plan. Just move, just go. And yeah, man, that's all I really gotta say. But thank you for listening. It's TNL, and like, comment, subscribe. I love y'all.